Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Dr. Torre Anurasu Simpson Bay, National Assistant Grand Chairman of Moorish America, National Assistant Sunday School Instructor, and Counsel General of the God Allah Georgia Territory, giving rise and praise to our Father God Allah and honors to our Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali for bringing us everything that it takes to save us as a nation. Now we must take it and save ourselves and our Moorish kin here, there, and everywhere. Who doesn't know that they have a nationality and divine creed sent from the great God Allah through our Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to welcome you more to another EARS, Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, sponsored by our Moorish American government. Today's platform will be provided by the God Allah Georgia Territory. Our host instructor will be Dr. Shadu Al-Minti Muhajjid Shuel, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. Islam, Islam, Islam. We'll be starting shortly. Peace and love. Islam, Islam, Islam. We want to welcome you to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class sponsored by the Moorish American government. Islam, I am Dr. Torre Anurasu Simpson Bay. Today's platform will be provided by the God Allah Georgia Consulate. Our host instructor is Dr. Shadu Al-Minti Muhajjid Shuel, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. Islam, Islam, Islam will be starting shortly. Islam.
Islam more.
Islam, grand man. Well, let's see, everybody got the email. I'm looking at it. All right, maybe they, let's see here. Yeah, everybody got it. All right. Well, it's 11 o'clock. We've been open up the way, grand man. Islam.
Islam.
Oh, shit. Right. Nobody hit me up on the phone. No, everybody got it. No eating. No. Okay. All right. Islam. Let us rise on the seven and give all praises to our Father God Allah and honors to our holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Honors to everything that is Moorish, our grand national flag, emblem and seal, divine constitution, and bylaws of Moorish America. Islam. I'm Dr. Torre Nur Rasul Simpson Bey. I'll be opening up the way with our commission adept prayer, followed by our divine constitution of Moorish America. Islam. Man, praise Allah for Holy Prophet, Noble Jew Ali, for bringing us everything that it takes to save us as a nation. Islam. Ya Allah adnu haru makunataru. Ya Allah ahet heru. Ya Allah ma'at heru. Ya Allah hotep heru. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'at herakuti. Ya Allah wajet dejuti. Ya Allah per im sutek per im heru. Ya Allah bamaduti. Al-Hajjat Shebs Abtu Ali. Ameen. Aliyasa. And that is to say in transliteration, Moorish kin, O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, O Allah, Jew Ali. Amen. Holy Issa. Islam, Moorish kin. And now I come before you with the divine constitution of Moorish America. Salvation, our God. Unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the said government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not Negroes. SubhanAllah, they are not Negroes, color folk, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Prophet Noble Jew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, the founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been opened, according to Act 2, in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we say Islam, Islam, Islamism. And at this time, we're going to read the chapter of the week, chapter 23. Yehoshua reveals the marriage law of man and wife from Allah. Islam. The law forbids adultery, but in the eyes of the law, adultery is an overt act, the satisfaction of the sensuous self outside the marriage bonds. Now, marriage in the sight of the law is but a promise made by man and woman by the sanction of the priest to live together until death. No priest or officer has the power from Allah to bind two souls in wedded love. What is a marriage tie? It is not what the priest may say or do. There is but one true marriage, and Allah alone can perform this marriage. It is the love of Allah that finds its way into the two, man and woman's heart. And that is all ever to be. Your priest cannot cause this to be. Is it the promise of the two that they will love each other until death? Is love a passion that is subject to the will of man? Can man pick up his love as he would a gem and lay it down or give it to anyone? Can love be bought and sold like sheep? Love is the power of Allah that binds two souls and makes them one. There is no power on earth that can dissolve this bond. The bodies may be forced apart by man or death for just a little time, but they will meet again. Now, in this bond of Allah, we find the marriage tie. All other unions are but bonds of straw, and they who live in them commit adultery. But more than this, the man or woman who indulges lustful thoughts commits adultery. Whom Allah has joined together, man cannot part. Whom man has joined together live in sin. But lo, I say that he who in the heart desires to possess that which is not his own is a thief in the sight of Allah. The things which men see not with eyes of flesh are of more worth than the things that man can see. A good name is worth 1,000 times a mine of gold. And he who says a word or does a deed that injures or defames that name is a thief. Upon the table of the law, we read, thou shalt not covet anything. To covet is an all-consuming wish, to have anything that is not right for anyone to have. And such wish in the spirit of the law is theft. Islam, Islam, Islam. Well, at this time, Moorish King, we're going to turn over the floor to our host instructor, Dr. Shadu Amenti Ali Muhajjid Shepshuel, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. Islam, Islam, Islam. You have the floor, Grand Man. And the share is on and everything. Islam.
Islam.
There we go.
Grand Man.
Islam. I was going to say, if you speak, we can't hear you. Islam.
Islam. Islamism. Gratitude. But let us rise upon the Sabbath and give all praises to the great God Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet. Honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again here, there, and everywhere. And therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourself. We give honors to our Grand National Seal, We give honors to our grand national emblem, national flag, divine constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin that are on the manifest now to demonstrate their particular measure, the chosen few. Honors to all of you Moorish kin for a grand drawing. And we know our Moorish kin got some grand measures to bring to the manifest, you know, in regards to dealing with our homework assignment. And I know the Moors most definitely love the resources if they went into them. And they probably have more clarity than clarity can be at this particular time in where we actually going. And it's a grand drawing, we can just say, to be able to bring these things on the manifest. Before I open up the floor, you know, I would like to bring an emphasis to the manifest on some things that I have come across recently. And some of these things were prompted by the Poe document, you know, that we have, the shipwrecked sailor. You know, some just said, because you always hear me talk about the Egypt Ptolemaic, you know, followers and teachers. And so I said, you know what, let me Google this and see if there's anything out here on this. And I Googled, you know, a statement that I thought I had coined because I really hadn't looked into it and seen it nowhere. But I was speaking of what we call Ptolemaic hieroglyphs. And there is actually a thing called that. So when you get a chance, do your research in that area too. But what I found, family, and this is very important, the same thing that the brother Mustafa Gadala, you know, had been saying, and myself had been saying, you know, and we give honors to that particular brother, you know, for the work that he put out there as well. Same thing that we have been saying about Rome and them hiding these particular true alphabets up under the symbols. When you do your research, you will find that exactly that took place. And what I want to first do is I want to share my screen. I had did a post also recently. I want to share that too. I want to show the post if I can pull it up. Look like they hid it from my timeline. And I want to make sure that our Moorish kin can see this. This is very important. So let me pull it up real quick and then I'll share it once I pull it up. Yeah, this is a powerful demonstration here. Okay, so yeah, it's it ain't no strange happening out there. So we know that everything that we come across, all of these things that are unfolding, you know, this is all dealing with our people coming into the truth. You know, Rome can't hide the truth no matter how hard they try. They can try as they will and try as they might, but nevertheless, they will not, and I repeat, they will not be able to cover, you know, this truth up. Based on the very virtue now, based on the very virtue that we ourselves are on the manifest and that we are here to uncover or take the cover off all secrets, just like our prophet did. Okay, yeah, there it is right there. Okay, now we ready. We ready now. We want to put this in here and show you some more so you know exactly what was done and you can do further research on it. So let me share the screen here. There we go. All right. All right, so this is what I had posted a few days ago. Like I said, they hid this deep down in my timeline, so I have to look for it. I just posted it the other day. I posted Ptolemaic hieroglyphs were created to demonstrate cryptography. Because once I looked up the word Ptolemaic hieroglyphs and began to do the research and study, it was stated in a particular documentation that cryptography is the method that they utilize. Now, it's very important that we understand what cryptography is, and you're going to see somebody try to respond to me. We're going to show you how disingenuous people is, and it's most likely with somebody in the Western Freemasonry. This particular guy here, he said cryptography or cryptology is the practice and study of techniques for secure communication in the presence of adversarial behavior. Islam, right? Now, to give that definition, if I'm talking about what Ptolemaic hieroglyphs, you know, and we know that this is dealing with those things that were invented during the time of 332, 333 BC and all of that. You know, a time that came long after our ancestors. We know this writing didn't exist during their time. So how could they come up with something to describe something that was more ancient than them, when we know the dead giveaway in the Rosetta Stone is that the Demotic text is present there, and then they want to call it so-called Greek Hecopter, which came after the ancient time. The ancestors were long gone. So this is the dead giveaway that this particular Rosetta Stone, you know, was created long after. And we know there were many monuments that were built, and that's the thing too. We have to research the monuments, all of the monuments that were established by the ancestors. You know, like which one was the first or the most ancient. You'll hear them talking about what our chairman always tell us about, the halls of Luxor. You know, it's one of the most ancient aspects when it comes to the temples of Kemet. You know, and then you go into the pyramid of Zoser, and that's one of the most ancient pyramids. You never find any hieroglyphics in that particular pyramid or the other pyramids except the pyramid of Unas. You see, and this is where you find it in a chamber that's down beneath. But if you look at the writings, it's almost as if they were placed there at a later date. But that's a whole nother story. We also understand that certain temples, well, after they had established, and this is during the Roman time, after they had established those temples, you know, they had already created, you know, their particular concept, you know, of this pictorial so-called expression. And so they stamped that in their temples. So if you don't know any better, you go into Kemet and you're looking at a temple and you just looking at them without a knowledge of how they were built and who built them. You don't know that the Romans had a hand in building certain temples. Some temples they tried to build in the likeness of temples that already existed. You see? So nevertheless, the definition that this brother gives is very disingenuous, because if cryptography or cryptology is a practice and study of techniques for secure communication in the presence of adversarial behavior, then who is he trying to say the adversary is? Because we're talking about Egyptian, you know, people that have become subjugated to the Ptolemies and the so-called wannabe Greeks, as they want to call themselves. And it was these people who communicated in this cryptography. So if they communicated in this cryptology, or they demonstrated this practice in the presence of who? So if they did this in the presence of adversarial behavior, what are they trying to say? That the Kemites was the adversary? And that there was some adversarial behavior? This is what the brother trying to say? Now I'm gonna show you how truth and falsehood, strange in the mix is. And that's why I responded back to the brother, because I already knew the definition before he posted this. I want to give honor to our brother Marvin Elpsby for his support, because he responded. Now this is the definition that he didn't get. Cryptography definition. Cryptography is the study of secure communication. See how you mix truth and falsehood. Techniques that allow only the sender and intended recipient of a message to view its contents. The term is derived from the Greek word kryptos, which means hidden. Oh, there you go. We done pulled the cover off the secrets. So when you hear Mustafa Gadala say that the alphabet was hidden, the true alphabet was hidden under the symbol. When you hear me emphasizing that, look up again, Ptolemaic hieroglyphics, and you're going to see that this terminology is used. They use the method of cryptography. So this only allowed the sender, those who was composing a particular document, so to say, in these symbols, and the intended recipient, meaning those who had this knowledge as well that would receive it. You see? But they would be the only ones that would be able to view its contents. So they didn't want our people to see the hieratic. They wanted them to see the symbols, and the symbols again, or the pictures, was the throw off. This was the misdirection. This was hiding our history from us, our truth from us, hoping that we would get caught up into flashy pictures and flashy symbols, and then say, this is how you transliterate it. And they hoped that we would never wake up. You know, forever and a day, we would stay sleeping. They would be able to get away with this, but not so us. Like we always say, we see through muddy water and spot dry land. And goodness gracious, this is exactly what happened right here. Now, I got another measure here. Let me stop this and start it to share again. This is actually, hold up. I want to see, because I got it up here. Let's see here. Let me close that out. Okay, there we go, right there. So let me open up one more time. This is actually from the present document that we were dealing with. And it says, and this is the Poe document, it says, wow, there are somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 glyphs that have been documented, right? This is just over the time. And a considerably smaller set of several hundred suffice for the bulk of non-religious texts, right? It says Gardiner lists about 750 glyphs in his index. Of these, now you got to remember, Gardiner's glyphs, they are offshoot of what Champollion demonstrated. Now you got to remember, those who were native Egyptian, the Coptics, were the true ones who actually, you know, began to translate these things, you know, and then a lot of these Europeans took credit for the translation. So they called it the Gardiner's, you know, list. Some of the things in Gardiner's list, though, are self-explanatory, but some of those things are questionable when we talk about what they like to call determinatives. This is something that you can determine, and a determinative is nothing really more than a pluralistic mark, you know, punctuations and so forth and so on. You know, they have many different functions that they try to put in there with what they do in their way of reading things. So nevertheless, it was the natives. And some of these people, remember, were took off the count. They were killed, you know, to keep these things secret. We know E. Wallace Budge, according to what I read, stole the papyri, walked out there with the papyri up under his arm, Orange Ken. You know, walked out of the museum, and if he would have been caught, you already know his hands, you know, wouldn't have been symbolic to his mind, you know, and it still necessarily ain't, because they cut off anyway. But anyway, when you get into this aspect, we understand this. So we understand the way that they are reading, what they are reading is based upon cryptography. You see? And so this has been passed down, and to give one the semblance as if they are actually reading something. But anyway, it says of these, less than 250 are used to write the hieratic manuscript of the shipwrecked sailor. A large number of the complete catalog of the glyphs, right? It says are from Hellenistic and Roman periods. There we go. There we go. It says during this time, Egyptian priests concerned with maintaining the privacy of their religion and the language of its expression created a large number of glyphs. Now, mind you, this doesn't mean that the hieratic papyri itself that they tried to hide, with pictorial glyphs originated during this time. You see, this is just saying that most of these so-called glyphs was used during the time of the Ptolemies, and that when they took these hieratic measures and they were brought on the manifest later on when Champollion came into contact, during his particular time with his so-called decipherment and all of that, and then the European coming behind that, it had become by that time a common practice to hide the alphabet under the pictures. But most of these glyphs, some of them, if you were to go back to the ancient temples, you won't find them there. You see, during the ancient time, because they was originated during the Ptolemies. So how, again, can they say that they have truly deciphered something and they use what they use to create this in a later date? But anyway, it says, during this time, Egyptian priests concerned with maintaining the privacy of their religion and the language of its expression created a large number of glyphs, right? Now it says their intention was to complicate the writing system as a part of a strategy to deny literacy in Egyptian to foreigners. So in other words, the Egyptians themselves had their own way of keeping people away from their language. So this tells us if they had already established a way of keeping people from their language, then how can a European come later and say that basically, in fact, they have translated something that the Egyptians have always kept away from foreigners? Even certain people in the priesthood of ancient Kemet, wasn't taught a thing. It wasn't that it was hid from them. It was that you had to become a part of the elite, the adepts, so to speak, before they went into the metaphysics of the MATHENO'S. They didn't teach that to the common people, you see? But the European come later, having no knowledge of that, claiming to be able to decipher it and have had deciphered it, so to speak, and then they come up with their own cryptography to actually hide the hieratic. You see, they hid the hieratic under what was once used as the metaphysical, we can say metaphysical ciphering, of what we call MATHENO'S. They hid it under that, and they don't even have the same insight of the ancient Kemites. If you came later, you can't tell us what they was doing, over all this other time. But we know that the natives there were able to identify certain things. And so the natives came up with these definitions of the words, and then they were able to build dictionaries based off of that, and then they put their own spin on it. So for those who ask, well, how did we get it then? How do we prove that these words, are correct? It was the natives that translated. And they basically took down the notes of what the natives said. E. Wallace Budge already told us that in his preface. He learned it from the demonologists, as he liked to call them. The people that was able to transcribe Demotic, and we see that the Demotic is comparable to the hieratic. In fact, hieratic, as you will find in the document, the Poe document, you will see hieratic gave birth to the Demotic. You know, and they actually tried to say, well, Hieratic gave birth to Demotic, and Demotic was nothing more than a simplified form of Hieratic. You know, so then we have the Hecopter evolving out of that. You see, so we have the Ray and KEMET, you know, birthing the second Inshet, and the second Inshet giving birth to the Hecopter. And so being that we know through Abjad, most alphabet is the same and all languages have similarities. Well, it's not strange that you can go and look at the Hieratic and compare them side by side, word for word with the Demotic, and then see the relation. And right, you can actually produce a transliteration in both texts from either language. That means if you have something in Demotic, there's a letter in Hieratic that corresponds, and you can write that same letter in Hieratic. You see? And that's just a whole nother measure, but we wanted to point that out. But even those who call themselves so-called Greeks, we know Aristotle and a lot of the others studied up under the Kemites, but they gave credit to the priests of Kemet. You know, most of those so-called Greeks bring forth the histories from the ancient Kemetic priests. We've seen the presence of even Hermes, who was Tehuti, who has on the crown of Lower and Upper Egypt in some of those Attic pottery and plate relics, pardon self. You know, so there's an overlap there. But nevertheless, it says a stable set of several hundred hieroglyphs, glyphs were used throughout the history of the written language. It says, in addition, new glyphs were developed as new items became a part of the material culture of Egypt. Notice they always get a number. They say several hundred glyphs was used prior to the creation. The creation of the Ptolemaic hieroglyphs is what they refer to. And in addition, meaning during the time of Ptolemy, new glyphs were developed as new items and became a part of the material culture of Egypt. If they became a part of the material culture of Egypt, they were not already a part of the material culture of Egypt. Sometimes glyphs change shape as the item they represented changed, and sometimes the glyph remained the same. So I just wanted to add that on, you know, to this special measure, you know, and also they tell you that in this document, they tell you that the hieratic existed, you know, basically at the same time, a lot of these so-called symbols, they like to try to say they was used. You know, that's the way of basically trying to cover up the fact that hieratic was the key documentation that was being used, you know, and without getting caught in a lie, they tried to cover that up. So we just wanted to add that to the manifest and give our people some insight before it came forward. And that may have answered a lot of questions that our people may have, you know, mashallah, Islamism without schism. So what we want to do at this time, let me close this out. We're going to open up the floor so that we can hear from our family in regards to dealing with the homework that they have brought on the manifest. We know our family has navigated the documentation well, and they was able to separate the bones from the fish, so to speak. They was able to separate, you know, the naught from the ought, truth from falsehood, and come forth with a grand measure. So, okay, we got our sister Curta Bay. All right, Goddess and Queen, what have you to bring forth?
Islam, Islam, Islam. Dr. Dinger Aniyah Curta Bay, first let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Nobuju Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. And I give honors to you, National Grand Sheik, for this wonderful class this morning. I'm the first one to jump out here because I really worked hard on this thing. And but since I'm just learning, since I'm just learning how to do this, I wait a minute, let's see. Since I'm just learning, I'm trying to do this thing the best way that I know how to do it. And so what I want to do, family, is first I want to try to pull up that the script that the God man had told us about. With our homework, and I will get that up, and then I'll read the assignment, what we supposed to be doing. Hold on, give me, and that's another reason why I wanted to go first, because I'm a little slower, and praise Allah, I'm gonna have people helping me so I can learn how to put all of this in one spot. And I don't have to be working basically so I want to put that up. That's my script. And then I want to go over here and I want to pull up, because of it's saying this will stop. It should be on multiple. Okay, because that's what I want to do. Okay, hopefully, can you, is my screen still showing, family? Islam? Is my screen still
Yes,
showing?
ma'am, we see it. Gratitude.
Okay, gratitude. Woo.
Yeah,
Woo,
it's
don't make me
not
nervous, y'all.
like- Oh
I'm
yeah, we
nervous
see you.
enough.
We see
Oh.
you.
Get to the I'm trying to pull up that I'm trying to go to I'm trying to pull up the ancient Egyptian get this picture out. Where's okay. Trying to pull the email up. Bear with me, family. I think I got it now. Let me go down here. And like I say, I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna read the assignment. Okay, I think it's this one. Whew, okay, all right, now I can breathe. All right, our assignment was to study the writing of the skillful scribe, to become more enlightened and concerned with the meta commit attached to this email. But anyway, I studied that. And then the second thing you wanted us to do, you said you wanted us to navigate through the Unicode and locate definitions for the heretic letters, monolateral, bilateral, trilateral, as you demonstrated, Brother Shahid, in the class. And so, I did that. And then you say to study the history behind the papyri of Eber, and use the excerpt attached to this email to find the alphabets as seen here, and attempt to translate a few lines. And that's what I did over here, family. I pulled that script up and I looked at it, and that's what I did. I attempted to try to find some alphabets. So I started, and then the last thing is, I think that was all. Yeah, and attempt to do a few lines. And so what I did, I wanted to try to put everything in the abjab order, but I didn't get around to doing that. And what I did was is like what you asked us, Brother Shahid. So I started with on the second line down here. You told us to just pick out the alphabets, and that's what I tried to do. And then I went to the Unicode, and whatever alphabet it was, I went to the Unicode and typed that number in like you showed us, and then it would come up and show you. It looked almost like it, and then it would have. I looked on the ancient. On the ancient Egyptian dictionary. That's where I got all my numbers from. Like if it was an A, the A stand for G1, and you would put that G1 right in here. If y'all can see my cursor, you would put that G. Well, I'm gonna show you, but I'm not gonna. You would put the G1 in there, and then he say go hit.
Are you showing?
Yeah, we don't see
something
your
else?
cursor moving, Goddess. If you change screens, you may want to go on sharing your whole desktop, and we can see you navigate through everything, because we still see the papyri you placed up there.
Oh, so you don't see my.
No, we don't see what you're doing, so you got to go back and share your full screen.
Share the full screen, okay.
So when you give you the option, share your desktop. That's the first one that's up there to the left. Instead of just sharing the papyri, share your desktop. That's the one at the top right of everything is showing you, where it give you the option to share, and we'll be able to see your whole screen. Islam.
Okay, let me stop sharing, because I thought this was gonna work, and I might have to.
Now it'll work. You just got to, when you open it up and it says share, you just want to share the top box, the one to the left. Don't pick your document. Just pick that top box that says screen.
It says screen. Desktop 1.
Yeah, that's the top to the left. It says screen on it. It gives you all the options to share. It says screen. The box. Whatever box is at the top left of your screen, that's the one. And all the things that is showing that you got open, it's the top box. Click on that.
Okay, and see, that's where I run into issues with, because this, let me stop over here and see if it'll do it over here. You say the top box right here, huh? Yeah. And I hit share.
There you go. Now that if that's your screen, you should go and hit that tab up there where your email is. Let me see if it's sharing the whole screen.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go right there. Now you can navigate through everything that you have up there. Share.
Okay.
So whatever you have else that's shared, we should be able to see. Now you may have to minimize that. Go and minimize that and see if it bring up what you have in the background.
Okay.
When I say minimize, I'm talking about like, don't close your boxes out, but hit that little bar up there in the right side. There you go. There you go. Now, see, okay, now we see you going into the area where the Unicode is.
Okay.
And that's what you were trying to show us?
Yeah, I was trying to show you, but I wanted to keep that script up there so y'all could see it.
Oh, well, you can go back up there and hit the image if you go back between it. Like just go back and forth. See the image, go back up there to the top where your tabs at. To the top where you in the image. No, not there. To the top up there where it says image, to the very top, next to that tab right to the right, where it says image PNG. Google Drive.
Let's see, my screen, my UR screen
Yeah.
share it's got it covered up.
No, go back right there to that tab right there to the top, right there. Hit it, click that.
Right here. That's
Yeah,
it.
click on that tab right there that says image PNG where your cursor is. You moved it off of it. You just moved it off of it. Go back to where you were.
Okay.
Go over to the right a little bit more. Go right with your cursor.
You too far up.
Nah, she where she's supposed to be. She just got to move a little to the right. She got to move her cursor to the right.
Because what I'm seeing is saying it's pulling that, because if I click it's gonna stop sharing.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to show you how to do is be able to go back and forth between the two.
It's up under that green.
Right here, see where it says image P right there where you are. Just go up.
Right.
Now click that.
Right here.
Yeah, click that. You went down again.
I'm gonna be better tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah, no, just go back up, sis, and then hit it, click on that tab right there. That's what I'm showing you. So all you got to do is go back and forth, go to the other tab. When you want to show something, you can take your cursor down there and point it out, right? And then go back to the Hieratic and then click on that and show us what you're showing. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, okay.
Just go back and forth between the two. It's long.
Okay, so wait. Oh, so that's the Hieratic over there?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Yep. So when you click it, you're right. Take your time. Take your time.
See, that's what I want to go first, because man, oh, good gracious, y'all. I thank y'all for y'all's patience. But anyways.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You know, we just trying to help you be able to navigate between the two.
Yeah, and I don't want to hold up people, but anyway.
No, you ain't holding us up, goddess and queen. We just trying to help you navigate.
Okay, so what I did was I looked at these alphabets, and I said that looked like the that I got a little bit confused on that one, because it looked like it was an R, but when I kept looking around at the different emails and different things you had sent us, and then I'm not gonna try to pull it up, y'all. But I went to the email that you sent out that had Hieratic 1 on there. And when I clicked on that one, it looked exactly like this right here. And it was saying that was a T. So I put a question mark. by that one. But nevertheless, the Unicode, for the R was the D21. So let me go. Okay. And when I type in D21 and then hit the search, and it says I got 66 results, and I scroll down. Oh God, but what confused me was you see the D2 right here, but it had other numbers with them, but the symbol of the hieroglyph, they was the same. When I looked on where I got my numbers from, the hieroglyph right there was the same, except for it didn't have this little, I call it a little main head. It didn't have that on top of it. But nevertheless, I say that this looked kind of, what did I say it looked like? It's the R. I said that this looked a little bit like it, but you can.
That's it.
Yeah, and right in there, I say that was it right in there.
Yeah, that's it. What you just pointed out, that one that was down there on the portion there.
This one right here.
Yeah, that's the same letter right there.
Okay, and then that's why I pulled these
Go
up.
back to your other document.
Okay.
You already got that in mind, but go back to the other document.
Okay. I click on it. Right.
And the numbers are just showing different words that are used, and they showing what words are connected. That's all it shows. It's nothing different really. It's
Right.
just showing how many different other words that are connected to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. See right there. See there it is right there.
That's it. Mhm.
Yeah. And then I didn't since we went over what I say that was the either the T or the R. And then
Right.
we had I said that I'm in the second line, I'm sorry. And I said that is an A. And since we did the A in the class, I didn't want to go over the A anymore because the Unicode for the A was the G1. So I ain't gonna go because we didn't been over that one a good bit. So we all recognize the A. And but in that this next little thing I went to, I said that was a T. And then when I went to and the T, the Unicode for that T would be V13. And if you type in V13, I found one that looked just like it. To me, it did. Y'all know I wear glasses. It looked just like it to me. And it had the little dot to it too. So it's saying I got 7 results. And so, what did I see it at? Let me scroll down.
You're doing good, goddess and queen.
They're right there, y'all. Can y'all see that?
Oh
Don't
yeah,
don't that look like that little thing I just showed y'all?
Islam.
It's got the P, it's got the little dot on it. And so I say, that's why I call that a I call that the T.
You see the one next to it don't have a dot too, so that lets you know that either or is still the same letter, you see, because it's in the same family. We look at those scripts like the family.
Yeah, okay.
Furthermore, not to cut your wisdom, also just to emphasize, each one of those strips coming down, if you were looking at the original Molar document, they are actually showing you, this is what it's showing you. Some of it will show the dynastic periods. We already know that, like 18, 19, 20 dynasty. I know you know what I'm referring to, Middle Kingdom, Old Kingdom.
Yeah.
In the Molar document, it actually refers to the papyri that it's coming from. Like the Everett papyri, the Rhine papyri. So this is the way that letter was identified in a particular papyri. And that's the group that they put together. I just wanted to put that out there for FYI. Go ahead, Goddess.
Okay, and when you look over here, I noticed that T, it's got the little line up on it. So I didn't know if that's why they had the little dot right there. I didn't know, but I did notice that particular T had the line up on it. And but I thought that one looked exactly like what I had found in there. And that one up there looked kind of like it, but it's missing a dot. This one kind of looked like it too. And it's, still a T. That's the V 13. And so the next one, I'm trying to pull back up the script. The script, yeah. Go right up under there. Right up under there. Right there. Okay. Okay. And the next one, let me see which one I want to do. I found this right here, if y'all can see it, but I don't, like I say, I don't want to take up a whole, that's I say that was the GR. And that was the GR, and the Unicode for that is D4. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead on and do that one, and then I'll just tell y'all about the others. Because I get nervous and I don't want to, anyway, now I ain't gonna make no excuses. I'm enjoying myself. I'm loving what I'm doing, and I'm so happy how far I didn't come. So
You good.
I'm gonna type in D4, and y'all can see, hit search. Y'all will be able to see. Let me see, I got 4 results. Y'all be able to see when I'm talking about that little, that in that script. I felt like that looked like it. Let me go down. And I felt like the D4, I thought that one, and this one right here, especially this down here. But these up here look more like it to me. Right here. Let me pull it back up so to give y'all one more quick look. I'm trying to pull up these script.
Right up
Oh
under.
man, I keep forgetting it. Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if y'all, it didn't show up that great on here, but if you can see that, that's why I say it that was a GR. And Brother Shaheed, you can straighten out if I'm wrong on that one. And then I'm gonna do one more, and I'm gonna be done, y'all. I'm gonna be done. I said that I said that was GR, and I say this was AA. Well, we already had covered the A, and this I said that was a G, and the Unicode for that G was, let's see, it stands for it stands for a jaw stand, and you'll see it whenever I find what number it was. The G, what is that number? The Unicode for the G. Oh, G is W11. So go back on here.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm going to put in one more thing. I'm going to put in W11. Hit search. And I got 7 results. And I said that these look like it, the D4. That's the D4. But anyway, I say that look like it to me, because it got the little thing on top of it and everything. And the word for it, that's the G, and then it's got the NST. But the only thing that confused me was it looked like it's going into the bilateral words, because it's got the W, it got the W12, but then it also got the W. It got the W11 and the W12 with it. So I thought maybe it was trying to like have bilateral words with it. It's got the G, and these are the ones that I picked out, family, that look just like that alphabet what was in that script. And I'm gonna scroll down, and I noticed the further I went down, it's got the G and the NST, and then the further I went down, they switched it. The W11, and it talked about the ligature. In other words, the ligature meant that they took when they take 2 or more letters and join them together to form a single glyph. That's what they looked like they had started doing the further I went down. And then instead of the G being first, they got the NST, and then they got the G. But it's still W11 and then W12. So that's where's my homework? That's what I did, family. And then as far as trying to put what are we thinking right here?
Mhm.
For as trying to put to make a word out of that. I don't know if I can make a word out of it, but these are the alphabets that I picked out. Like I say, I thought that was either R or T, and then A, and then that's the T, and that little thing there, I said that was the JR, A, and then G, and then that's a S, and then I think that's a R. But that's as far as I got, and I really wanted to try to put this in alphabetical, in the abjad order, and write all this down for you and have that ready to show you. But as slow as I am, but I'm gonna get to it, and I want to practice more on writing my alphabets. And like I say, I translated it. I translated them. I translated them to the alphabet. I went to the ancient dictionary, and I got they had these symbols up there, and I would go across and get the alphabet. So that's where I'm at, fam. That's what I did, and I really worked hard, and I was so proud to share with y'all. But I'm gonna close my beat because I'm so nervous. I'm ready to stop. And so gratitude for letting me share and go first and jump out there in that deep water. And so, Brother Shaheed, you can help me to navigate, show me where I missed or what I didn't miss or whatever. So, but I'm having fun though. I really am, and I'm making great strides with this computer, trying to learn how to do this stuff for y'all. And gratitude, Dr. Shaheed, for showing me how to do this. Whew, gratitude. So, Islam. That's all I have.
Islam, Goddess and Queen. Before you go,
Oh,
can you pull that Unicode up? The first one you had again, the very first one you went into, just the first one.
oh Lord, where did it go?
Go back to you. Was it in you, man?
Yeah, it's an email.
I think you had it as I can't remember the one number you had, because you mentioned a few of them. You did a good job by navigating too, sister. I know that you would get more used to it. And also these things, you can see how they impress these letters in your memory just going through the Unicode, right?
So is that what you want to pull up, or the other one?
I can't see it if you shared it. You got to share it.
Share.
Okay.
Stop sharing.
And I can also show you that the bottom line, the symbol that is above it, the glyph above that, is actually the same. And actually it's just a repeat. If you look at the bottom line you was using, the line above it is actually saying the same thing. You know, in the bottom corner. I get to that in a second. I'm gonna let you share the Unicode that you were sharing real quick.
Oh, that right there. Okay.
You know,
can you see it?
Not yet. You ain't sharing yet. You gotta probably stop sharing if you are, and then share again if that's the case. But it's not. I'm seeing your back. There you go.
Okay. Okay. And what was you wanting to show me on that one?
Now I wanted you to go back to the first one that you did in that particular document, to the right. You know, the image with the Hieratic document. Click on it real quick and I can show you what I'm talking about.
That one?
Yeah, go all the way to the bottom. Where you were. Now look at this. Look at that line there and look at the bottom line. You see those are the same line, but it's more clarity in the one that's above.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Right. Go letter for letter apart. And notice it's saying the same thing. They only get different after the, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, after the 5th letter.
Yeah, it looked like a little main right there.
Yeah, that's what they would call a determinative. We call them indicators. And so what I'm showing, that first letter, which one that go back to the very right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can go up top right there too, by the way.
Right there, right
Yeah,
there.
because it's more clear. Go all the way to the right, to the first letter.
Right
Yeah,
here.
there. And you pulled that up, and what that was again, according to your research.
According to my research,
Yeah, the Unicode. But you
yeah,
had pulled it up. Go ahead, sis.
I say that was a R
That's
but
correct.
and
That's
according,
correct.
yeah, and that was the Unicode was V13.
Okay. And that's what I wanted to point out.
Uh-huh.
Now, you can stop sharing your screen and I'm gonna come behind you.
Okay.
And you did a good job with that. And we want to make clarity on that. That's why we wanted to point that out. And then I'm gonna go into some of the other letters that you did,
Okay.
just to give further insight. So
Okay.
you went with I'm gonna show that later. I get back to that. V13. So when we go back here, we can see
I
how
can read now, right?
oh yeah, we can see how well you know your eye is for it. You know what I mean? And I know our Morris King got a lot of insight out of that themselves. So we will see here, for example, right? In the word remit that they have, and see a lot of time when they connect these numbers, they are connecting the letter, but they also connecting words that have been made up as a result of the alphabets as well.
Oh yeah, I
That's
forget
why
to
you'll
say
see
about
those
that.
things. Right, and so is up here. These are just giving you extension in your resources. So these are whole words. That's remit. Remember, we dealt with that.
Right.
So the letter R would be here. You see?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the letter R, and then the rest of the MT is in this area. You know, and then for example, dealing with the letter R again, just for clarification, we see it here, R, and you see the many different forms of it. Now this is in different documents.
Right.
This thing is being wrote in. That's good.
Okay.
You know, we see the R there, the R there, the R there. And I just want to make a correction on one particular symbol here, because we looked at this, you know, in a particular form, but we're gonna clarify this with that other alphabet.
Okay.
I seen it was smaller, but I want to emphasize a mention. So we can see, you know, also your comparison of that letter, you know, with being also the R, because it looks just like it.
Yeah.
You know, but see the R, as you can see, and the T looks alike as well.
Yeah.
So that's T and R. Now the only difference is the T itself, you know, opens up. Well, it actually closes up, you know, different, but the R is more, this is, put it this way right here, for example. The normal T that I see commonly in most modern charts, it'll be closed like that.
Okay.
So that's how you're able to distinguish it between the R, even though you can see the T, and it's a certain way that T is shaped that make it a little different than the R, but you can see how they can become confused. And you see the symbol right here, as you mentioned, looking like a mouth or whatever. And that's also considered the letter R as well.
Okay.
You know, and that head on top of it that you pointed out, that's just a determinant.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out in this particular area. And then you went with a few more, and I'm gonna share my screen. Let me pull that actual picture up here.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop sharing this, and I'm gonna share it in the fullness of my screen being shared. I want to make sure I pull everything up for you first. Okay, there we go, right there. So let me share the fullness of my screen. Okay, and there we go. So what I wanted to point out here, you know, is, you know, that's a grand drawing that you pointed out in the way you did it. This is the letter A. This is actually a whole word right here.
Oh, it
It's
is?
not an alphabet. Yeah, I wanted to make that correction
Wow.
because it was small. I couldn't see it. I had to blow it up.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna show you what alphabet that is in a second here. Let
Because
me.
in our other things, that it was a T though, right? In some of the other
Right, correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then see that's what did this. I had questions as I was doing it, and I had questions. I said, "Oh man, it looked like this, bud." And I said, "Well, I just wait till I get to class, and you help get me straightened out, cause I know it looked one way, and we had learned it one way, but this is something different." So, hey, gratitude.
Oh no, you okay. And the thing is, a lot of time when you see something faint, like the bottom screen now, you see where I'm moving my cursor at? You can always look through the document and see, can you find that alphabet with more clarity?
Okay.
Like see, you can just go through there. If it look kind of faint where it's like this, you can barely see it. Like right there, like I say, you can see obviously this is the same thing being said, but you can scroll around in the document, you know, and look for that same symbol.
Yeah.
And just go through the lines, you know, and look for it. And in most cases, you'll probably find those symbols again because they repeat. There it go right there.
Right.
In all clarity.
Okay.
You know
yeah. Okay.
But that's a whole nother measure right there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over here and I want to emphasize on this real quick. Let me pull my documentation up here. Actually, I got to close that out and show a few things. Okay, I think it was this one that I had. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Bear with me. We got you. Want to make sure this was the one that I had here. Okay. Okay, it wasn't this and it's the other. Uh-oh, goodness gracious. I done shut the thing off. Okay. Let's see here. Scroll down a little bit and I'm gonna show you something. There was one here, but it's another one in another spot that I want to show you as well. Okay. Let's see. Is that? Here's a comparison here to that same letter to as a determinative as well as what I wanted to get up on. So we can see a comparison there between that same glyph that you showed. But it's another that the one I want to emphasize on. This one right here also looks similar to that same glyph. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we can go through many of these things and it's really going to be based on what makes sense when you transliterate.
Oh, yeah.
Remember what I was saying? Like you transliterating, because we can see obviously some of them symbols look just like each other.
Right.
And so if you go to transliterate and you find, okay, well, that's not a word that we can find in the dictionary. You know, and then you see that, okay, well, this forms a whole word here. Then it'll be best to go with that which looks exactly like it, but you can see the clarity in the way that the sentence flows when you fully translate it. You get what I'm saying?
Islam. Yes,
okay.
Yes, I see.
That's just a helper I wanted to add on the manifest. Now, here's another drawing coming from this document, and this is why, because it was small and I couldn't see it at first, but see, and I see why you went with this particular drawing here. You see? The V13.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I see the dot there, and I see how you were comparing it. And it's actually next to it. Well, let's click on the Y1. See, this is V13. It looked like it, and even the people who put this together grouped it together
Yeah.
because they seen basically the same thing you seen. You know, with that eye, this here, you can compare this. You can say, well, this may have been a different form during a different dynasty or a different document. So you wasn't wrong at all on the comparison in the eye,
Right.
because they're very close to each other, even especially when you look at the top one here and here.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can put them together, but Y1 is actually a whole measure. And I'm gonna show you right here when we click on this and show you exactly what Y1, and you're gonna say, yep, that's exactly what it is. So we go to Y1, and these things actually help us understand, you know, what it is we're looking at once we begin to transliterate. So I begin to search through here, you know, for clarity.
Right.
Okay, we see it right here.
Oh, yeah.
You see it there?
Yeah.
That's the exact symbol.
Wow.
Now, when we go over here, that's actually a word.
Yeah. M-E-D.
The dot.
M-E-A-T.
The dot.
Medat.
See? Now,
Yeah.
if we click on Madat, you know, let me take this out here a little bit. Clicking on Madat, it takes us here as well into these other areas.
Oh.
And we can see more clarity with this symbol without the dot on it. We can see other symbols and everything as well up here, and it's still the same word, Y1, Y2.
Right.
So let's scroll back down a little bit. You know, we can also see, you know, other symbols here that they are connecting to the same thing.
Okay.
So this is why this is very, here it is again up here, actually, right here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
See it there, they put a little curve on the bottom there.
Do them numbers, is them numbers significant what's up under there?
Yeah, these basically the same numbers that's connecting, you know, to other areas. You know, you'll see it like you see it more in the other one the first one I showed you.
Okay.
It's just connecting to other letters basically.
Oh, okay.
Other words that are connected to that. When that alphabet is used in a particular word or letter, then they just connected to it.
Okay.
And there it is right there again.
Yeah.
So this is actually a whole word right here. You know, and if you went and looked this up, you know, and let's go and see what it says in the dictionary.
Okay.
Because this is how you find your definition. We're gonna go and look for Y1 here. This is one of our best tools.
Yeah, that's what I
have this here. You know, and we can go through here. Oh, my bad. What I'm gonna do, I hate to try to don't want to keep downloading over and over and pull my memory out of here. So what I would do, without even using the Unicode right now, first and foremost, I'm going all the way down to the letter M. I'm looking for the letter M. This is how I'm gonna navigate. Once I get to the letter M, then I can get into looking at the numbers, the Unicode next to it.
Oh, okay, okay.
See, so I'm scrolling. That's why I don't feel like I'm missing nothing or nothing. You know, I'm going past nothing. I'm just trying to get to the letter M right now.
Right.
So you ain't got to worry about going past what we're looking for. You know, the key is get to the letter M because the word is dealing with the letter M.
And I was looking for something. I don't know if that's what I was looking for. And then I saw the A and I kind of got discouraged. I thought I had messed up. I said, I can't find that. So I just turned around and left it alone. But you just have to keep strolling and strolling and strolling until you come to it. Because I was starting back over when I saw that A. And but I see you went on past, you didn't do like I did, you just kept on going. So okay.
Yep. And this is a lot of, remember, we got like thousands of.
Yes.
And this is going to be our best friend when we start doing our transliterations, you know, to get our definitions and so forth. Okay, so now we reached the letters M, right? So now I'm trying to remember what that Unicode was. It done slipped my, let's see. I know Y1 is what it was.
Uh-huh.
That's what it was. It was Y1.
One, yeah.
Okay, so we can see a connection to Y1 here, just dealing with the letter M right here.
Uh-huh.
It ain't the exact same word. Now we know that word looks like it actually going into the metanetta. You know, the one word I was showing you a few minutes ago
Yeah.
when it said Madat.
Madad. Yeah.
You know what I can do? I can actually do this. Let me see here.
Type of speech.
I can go into this particular one and then open it up so I can have a comparison. That's what I need to do because I want to make sure I'm showing this to you and you can actually get the drawing. So I'm gonna open this up. Let me close that a little bit. And it takes us back. See it here? See the letter M? It's letting us know it's the letter M. See Y1?
Yeah, well, one, yeah, yeah.
So you're gonna see a lot of these things here, right in this area where I am in this document. You see the G1. Now go back over here. Notice you got G17, Y2, and you have different numbers is what I'm going into. That's G17, Y1, Y2.
Right.
Now let's go back over here. Okay, so you got a lot of Y1. So we know that Y1 again is dealing with the M.
Yeah, okay.
So now notice that all of this is really dealing with true speech, real, just, righteous, true, loyal to, rightful property. Most of this stuff is dealing with the definition of what's true and right. And these are different words. Remember I showed you that there was also a connection. You can change the letter B with the letter M as well.
Oh, yeah.
We even demonstrated that here. That's a sound shift right there.
Right.
You know? So let me scroll on down because we're looking for a particular word now. See the G17 showing up here in the Unicode? So in other words, when you see something wrote this way, you automatically know that this is talking about something that's dealing with truth and right in some type of way because all these definitions that are being given here.
Okay.
Either dealing with righteous, truth, judgment, or whatever. So let us keep going because we want to find our exact word. You know we're in the right area. You just want to find the exact word that we're looking for. Because again, let me scroll down. I'll go ahead. Keep going. That's the letter A, following behind it. That's proclaim, as if likewise, many, ma'at, MBI, that's the I, A, let's see, that's W, moot, in between that. You're looking for the M and the D. Okay, let's go. All right, keep scrolling. It's M-E-N-D. Nope. M-R. Okay. Where you at, D? M-H. All right.
And they don't go in alphabetical order. They just skip
This
them.
this is in the sound shift order. It's not in the abjad. You know how we normally see it? So if you got a sound shift, you can go all the way through it and you'll find it. But I know this gonna probably be close to the bottom of everything they got because that's where it is in the sound shift. It's almost at the end. Also, we got to look at the T too because the T is interchangeable with the D.
Right.
It can also be here as well if you don't see the D there. So because some Europeans, they will choose T or D based upon whatever it is they're looking for.
Oh, okay.
We pull this Unicode, it's gonna pull exactly what we're looking for up out of here. I'm gonna keep this in mind. Okay, well, I see the MD, so they do have D, so it got to be here then.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so now this is our word. Let's go back to our word. MD, A, and T, right? And this is Y1 and Y2. Okay. Let me go back here. MD, A, and T. Y1. There's our Y1. That's Y1 in it. So we know this is dealing with something about metanetta. It's dealing with speech.
Speech, yeah.
Yeah, definitely dealing with that. Keep going. Okay, let's see. There it is. That's Y1 and that's B21. That's close, but that ain't it. Okay, so it may be somewhere in this area here. Okay, I see it. I see what's close to it here, Y1, X1. That's MDA and T right here, MDA and T here, A1, 2-1. Let me see. Y1, let me keep going. I'm trying to find the exact code. We see the connection to it,
Right.
and I want to get it exactly as it is. That's V21. Let me go back over here and check the code one more time. Okay, that's just dealing with the letter M now. Okay. So that's Y1, Y2. I want to check them here. Y1 to Y2, Y1, Y2, Y1, Y. Okay, V12. Okay, so yeah, we can see this is definitely the same. You see the Y1, Y2, X1, Z1, V12, and 2-1, right? Same thing here. So all of these letters are part of the same family in the connection based on the lines that are being given or the strips that are being given here. So we see the Y1 and Y2 most consistent.
Right.
So basically, when we go back to this document, we can see the same thing here. Coming all the way from the top. See the V1, the X1, you know, the MDT. We see the basically the same thing consistently through here. So G17, X1, Y2, yeah, we in the right area. So
and I paid attention to those symbols too, Brother Shaheed. You know,
that's right. That's right.
I looked at them. I said, "Well, it's got the same symbol." You know, I know them ain't alphabets. You didn't drill that in my head. That ain't alphabet. They symbols. So the symbols was the same. You know, they were saying the symbols was the same, and I was looking at that too when you were scrolling down. But
that's right.
And then and I wanted to point that out on one of my words that I was doing. It had the eagle, but the eagle, it was the same thing, but he was turned like this, like where you at right now. He was turned that way, but where I was coming from, he was turned the opposite way. But I remember you say that was all right because I think we're supposed to read it from that direction. Is that what you said? I can't remember.
Well, when you're dealing with these symbols, that actually show you how they hid this thing on the cryptography.
Right.
Because Demotic, you can only read from right to left. You can't read it from left to right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Hieratic, you can only read from right to left. You don't read it from left to right. But they'll tell you these symbols can be read from left to right, from right to left, or top to bottom.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? But you can't read Hieratic and Demotic but one way.
Right.
So yeah, when you look at these symbols, though, these symbols are a dead giveaway of exactly what the word means. So we can go in many different areas. For example, we know that this is, I want to show you, go back to the, I keep getting them mixed up right there. I want to go to the exact symbols. And then and this is what I was saying, we can use these as markers, you know, in order to see exactly what is what. So for example, when we go into the Y1 and the Y2, when we go back over here, we can see the symbols that have been grouped up here. And they most definitely be putting them in different directions.
Right.
We see the symbol there on the side of them. I'm just scrolling back into this area. Mainly we in this area here. This is where everything is. Okay, we see this symbol here. This little strip here, we see it there, we see it there, right? Now, when we go back over here, we can see the same symbol. You see in isolation. But now, in order to find the exact way the symbol was used, when you scroll down, and they didn't really give too many, but they really emphasize more on this particular symbol here.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And so we know what that is, even if we click on it. You know, this particular word here, it ain't moving because we already in the document. We can't go no further than where we are.
Right.
So when we go back over here and we see the symbols, we already know we in the right area.
Right.
So everything else down here, no, that's not it. We up here.
Right.
See, and a lot of these other symbols are but determinatives, as they would call them. We know
Yeah.
that's not an alphabet right there.
Right.
But that's not an alphabet. So the emphasis is this particular demonstration. Now this actually says chisel. You see what I'm saying? This says
Yes.
chisel too.
Chisel. Uh-huh.
Now we talk about the chisel as being one of our tools,
Tools. Yep. Yep.
you know, and it says also medat neter, God's book.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
in
why I
other
was saying
words,
that why one, that's God's book.
so basically what I'm gonna get ready to show you is that we chisel away, you know, at naught with God's book, with metaneta. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
showing you how you can utilize these measures and begin to, you know, transliterate certain drawings from a metaphysical demonstration. That's how
Oh,
you understand the metaphysics of it. I'm just touching that. We're gonna get into that, you know, a
okay.
little later. But also, it means read a book out loud. So we see all this stuff is related.
Yeah.
All these
Yeah.
letters, it's either dealing with letters, it's dealing with papyri.
Mm-hmm.
It even and that's where it's based. That's the group. This is in this group here. So this
Right.
whole group is dealing with roll, book, letter, papyri, letter, reading the book, God's book, and also the chisel.
Mm.
So our circle 7, you know, itself is a chisel
Right.
in
Right.
and of itself.
That's
For
right.
example, you see how we make it plain? But this
Mm-hmm.
is your group you're going with up in here. This
Oh,
is your
wow.
group. This is
Yeah.
your group. You don't have to go nowhere outside of it because there are no others. The others are dealing with other measures. They
Uh-huh.
may connect with G17 because it's talking about MD. You see what I'm saying? But this symbol here shows you what you are to look for in relation to dealing with this particular word that you
Mm-hmm.
have here.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But this is the best tool that we
Yeah.
can have here.
Yeah. I enjoyed working with that. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm
so
still
again,
still learning though, but yeah.
oh, all is well. All is well. You know, and so when you go there and you even touch on the numbers up top, you know, you can see other certain demonstrations that they have up here where they deal with the groupings of
Right.
these things, you know, and they even go all the way up into the R and everything else. So this is a powerful measure just in and of itself. But I wanted to show you that so you
Okay.
can see again how we navigate.
Grab it.
So
Gratitude.
again, Islam, and that's all you got to do when you go in there and you go to looking for those things.
Uh-huh.
You know they're gonna take you right back to exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Remember, Y1 is
Yeah.
there, but Y2 is there, and you click Y2, it's still the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Y1, Y2,
Yep.
that's the same symbol there. You know, so and then it's giving you all the other letters in the hieratic, you know, of what it's really saying. So again, these are but markers.
Right.
You know, and when you go into it, instead of looking at that as the language, when you look at it as markers, you see again, want to emphasize that everything stops pretty much in this area. The
Okay.
connection between this G17 and Y1, why you'll see them grouped together because they're dealing with the MD
Mm-hmm.
and the A. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you go again back up here to this area, this is where it starts at.
Right.
You know, with our group that we're dealing with now. So you're looking between this range and that range, and that's how you work down what the exact meaning is and don't end up saying, okay, well, it's dealing with this and this and this and that there. We can see the connection here, but we don't see the same symbol here.
Right.
This is
Right.
dealing
Yep.
with
Yep.
bonds, and this is dealing with different definitions. Notice the definitions are different. They
Uh-huh.
don't deal with speech
Speak
and
to
all of that
that.
right there.
Woo.
But and beneath that, you see what I'm saying? These are dealing with the magi, the police of ancient Kemet. It's not talking about the speech, but they group all of those that are dealing with those definitions. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Man. Woo.
So
Good
it's
gracious.
long.
I would have picked all that up by myself.
No, but you did good though, sis,
Oh,
because
Lord.
what I want to show you also, you know, is okay. So we know that we're dealing with speech being mentioned there.
Uh-huh.
You see, we definitely dealing with speech being mentioned there, you know, and so being that you brought up certain words, you know, in the transliteration,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back here real quick. I'm gonna pull this up and go back down there to what we were looking at here. So we
Right.
see that this is dealing with speech here. You
Yeah.
see, this is the letter A.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
then this particular letter, you put it up there as R,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it was R, you know, and we can look at that and then it could be T, you know,
Right.
so it could have been Ta,
Yeah.
Meduneta, Ta, Metuneta, Ra, Metu, you know what I mean? Or if we go back and look at the symbol that I showed you before, this can be a complete word. And I won't go so far into that because it'll take a little time just like then, and I want to get to our Moorish kin,
Right.
you know, but this A being isolated, I ain't really gonna say the A would be isolated with a word here and a word on the side of it. I would rather go with the fact that this is actually an alphabet right now, you know, along with this and say, well, Ta metal neta, or Ta madu, Ta madat. You see what I'm saying? And now when you come here, this letter,
Yeah. What is
no,
that?
this is actually the letter Y.
Okay.
You know, this is a letter Y, but there are probably letters that look like it, so they'll put it in the groups. You go back to the groups, you know, and you can research it, but in the chart, there's a Y for this particular letter, and this is correctly R. And these are two A's.
Two A's. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's a powerful demonstration. Yada I. And so we can go and look that up on our time and see where that goes, you know.
Now go back to that when you said that was an R, right? Right there.
Yeah, right here under the bottom.
Above that little thing.
This here is
right there.
This is letter Y.
Y. You say that's a Y. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Y in hieratic. You know, and this is a letter R. You know, at least this is when we get into the alphabet chart. But we can do research and vet it, and also still make sure of what it is, and we can do that by the Unicode.
Okay, and you say right up under there is an R?
Yeah, this symbol here.
Yeah,
That's an R.
I had GR.
It's the same symbol here.
Yeah, I had that as a no. I had that as a G.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's why I was correcting it, but it's okay.
Okay,
that's the letter again. That's a Y.
Okay.
But look here, this is a one in clarity here.
And make it more clear. Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's why I say you can always go back and look through here to make sure what you're looking at. We know that this is either T or R here, but we can go with R here, for example. You see what I'm saying? We can see the same thing here, but it's closed up a little bit. So we can say this may be the T here.
Right.
But we go back through the forms and vet it out. There it is again, T or D, depending on what it is. You see what I'm saying? This goes back to that letter right here that you looked at down here as the same. Remember, they were grouped beside each other. This one with the dot on it. This one with the dot on it. This one was R, and this one was actually that word we just found.
Right.
And they actually, if you go back to the Unicode, if you look at it, when you clicked on some of the numbers, they actually went there. See?
Yeah.
They connected that to the same symbol of the Madut. You see what I'm saying? See the Y20, Y1 and Y2? That's connected to the same thing that we already been building on. So there is some overlap there, you know, and we just have to be able to make the discernment by the way the transliteration is coming out.
Yeah,
like I said, you put transliteration and you put it there, this don't make no sense.
Yeah.
You know, and then you say, all right, well, let me try the actual what will be considered an indicator or determinative, as they like to call them. And then if it goes and it flows properly, you know that that is the proper transliteration.
Right.
If you can't find any word in your dictionary or your resources, you know that, okay, that's not even a word. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the process is correcting, you know, your transliteration as you move through it, basically.
Right.
Islam.
Woo. Islam. Gratitude. I tell you. Wow. This is powerful here. Islam. Gratitude, family. Gratitude.
Gratitude. And we give honors to you, goddess and queen, for what you brought forth. Islamism, you did a good job. And oh man, I know that inspired our Moorish king. Praise be to Allah. We're a work in progress as a people progress. Islam got us. All right, but let me stop sharing my screen and get my little cell phone up out the way. And we can see our other Moorish kin that have their measures to bring on the manifest. Man, Sister Curta Bay done open this demonstration wide open. All right now, Moors. Any other Moors that are ready to come forth with their homework?
Islam, I just have a question.
Okay, Islam.
Okay, gratitude. Yeah, this is Dr. Marvin Everything, out of Texas Consulate, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, giving highest honor to his prophet, our prophet, Prophet Muhammad Ali, al-Hashimi, Abdullah, give high honor to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government, give high honor to our Act One, give high honor to all of our officials, give high honor to this class, our eras class, and give honors to everything that's Moorish. I tell you, I mean, I looked at Dr. Diane Carter's demonstration, and she just jettisoned way beyond me. I mean, because to be honest, I couldn't, and that's what I was trying to see. I didn't see how she came up with the Unicode letters for the alphabet. You know what I mean? So that was my bottleneck, so to speak. I couldn't get beyond that. So that's why I wanted to know, when you look at the letters in the script, you know what I mean? How do you? So you got to go through you got to go through the library, I mean, not the whole dictionary to get the Unicode letter. I mean, Unicode number.
Well, no, what it is that
I need to see, because I somehow
what it is okay. You hold up. Let me let you finish, Graham. Man, go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, no, that was really the whole thing, because I mean, I wrote out a line, you know what I mean, and I could get in the letters, but still, I stopped there because I couldn't get to where you can go from the letter to Unicode number, like the Y1 and all of that, as how it relates to the actual alphabet. Follow me?
Okay, yeah. And so what happened is this: when you go into, let me share my screen again. All right, the key is this, right? This is how you get to I gotta move this down again. This is how you get to your resources, whatever the case may be, right? First and foremost, when you identify the letter, again, it's only so many that's mentioned. You could have even you could have used any document that had, because you're looking for an alphabet. Remember, it's only a few of them. You could have used this document, as a key to find it. Here, your PO document, because it actually starts out, with the alphabet in sound shifting order. You could have came here.
Okay, if I may.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead,
like I started at the top of the document, and I see like that there was an N and a S. And I was trying to figure out how you went from that to here. Can you show me an N, that S? Looks like a bar.
Most definitely. And I have to see the letters that you showing, what you were trying to share. But I'm gonna show you here, for example. This is the letter N right here.
Right.
Right?
Okay, I can see that one.
Now, this is the letter S right here. This is one of the S's, but this is the other S.
Oh, that's it right there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that.
And that's another S, but SH.
Okay.
You see? So now, once you find these, right? And that could have been in this, that could have been in this document, right? Or that could have been in this document here, if you chose this one, because it also has the same alphabetical chart. If you would have came to this, you'll see the Unicode is already there.
Okay, yeah, in there, yeah.
Hold up here, right?
Okay.
Here's your letter N first, by the way. You would come here, Where my little cursor at? There you go. So you would come here, and there you go, you're in.
Right.
This is your Unicode right here, N35 331.
Okay.
This is Molar's list. And so that Unicode tool that we have, you know, is Molar's, is based on Molar's list. And this is the S. That's S29. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and look up N35, or if I can't find N35, I do 331. You know, let me pull
Okay.
this. This little thing is in the way here.
331, right.
Yeah, let me pull this up, N35, and see what we get.
Like to
Right
the
here.
Hieratic telegraphic, yeah.
So you pull up, right? And then when you come here to N35, this is what we get.
Right.
Okay, so we can see how it's actually connecting to, you know, these particular symbols, or the alphabet, so to speak. We see the N in there. So this is the letter N in the midst of words. That's N and N. We see the symbol there. We see the N's up there. Okay, this is B and N. So we see that B. We know that's the letter B right here. And
Right.
then N. Okay. And basically what you would do is go through the process of elimination. We see that this is N35 deal with the letter E. You know,
Right.
we see that here, and we see that also in the document that we just came up out of. So once we know that, let's go into now the letter S and see what it's dealing with. So we know correctly that N35 is connected to the letter N. Now let's go down here and deal with this letter S. And you say it was this S, right? S29, right?
Right.
So you come over here, you go back up here, and then you place S29. And let's see what comes up. Okay, we see something came up. We got 7 results. So you see the letter S right there. And this is still low. You see what I'm saying? You see the letter S. So we know that's the letter S. And so once you understand this, you know, and see this letter, if I were to go and try to look for definition, let me close this out real quick here. Let me pull my little best friend up right here, this ancient dictionary. So what we would do is go to the letter S. And they go into, there it go, the S29. They go your symbol. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now let us go down here and look at some words in the letter S. Because that's your order that is going to be in. Like I said, it ain't going to be in abjad order. It's going to be in sound shift order. See that? Same order that it is in them other documents I just showed you. Right?
Okay. Now I see what's going on now.
So once you go all the way down to, it's a little way to go. So let me just scroll. Just keep scrolling until I get to the S. I can show you, just give you an example in general what we're doing. We're doing the same thing that we just did. I'm getting close to it because I see the letter N right there. We already in the N range. But just dealing with N since we already there in N. We talked about N35. So if any word that was dealing with N, to see how the N35 is here?
Right.
You know, so you find it right here in the Unicode. You know, if it's a word to be spelled and you see them letters spelled out exactly, you will find them just like this.
Okay. All right. So basically I would.
And if I go to the S,
I'm sorry. I say, so basically I would identify the alphabet and put them together, and then come here and if I find them together, then that would give me my definition.
Exactly. That's exactly that's what we're talking about. And this here is your marker just to let you know, okay, if you see that symbol on the side of a particular word, then the way you see it here, you know, for example, you see this here says Q4, Q3, Y1, right? Look at the symbol here. So
Yeah.
let me go to, I'm gonna just say, let me go to the Q4 over here. And they're all connected in a certain way. When you take one of them, you don't have to put them all there. But let's see, Q4, and then just search it. This one right here didn't give us nothing exactly right there. Let me try it again this way. I'm gonna try it lowercase because sometimes it gives you a difference between that. Okay, so it didn't give it to us under the Q4. So let me try Q3 now and see what happens. Let's see, Q3. Let's see. All right, it's giving us something now. So now we see the Q3 here. This is showing us P's and P's and P's and P's. Keep
Right.
going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I want to try the other one now as well. We see the P right there, right?
Yes, sir.
And also when you go over here, you can see, let me go.
Islam more, that looked like a O4 and not a Q4.
Okay, let me go back over here. You
Yeah.
showed right, Grand National Secretary of the State. That's why it didn't come up. I'm glad you're doing
Yes,
it.
sure,
But I-
buddy.
why I seen Q like a little tail coming up there. Thank you, Grand National Secretary of the State, for that correction. Islam. Still no 03 there. I see no 04 there. There we go. Let's see what we got. Yep, and that's the H. That's what it is. That's the H, and then we have the P in the other area where I went. So that's H, and then you have P. So it is there. Praise be to Allah. And so that's why they came up with their word here, connecting them together. The Unicode per letter is H
Okay.
in the P.
Lord.
You see, and then they have Y1 up here, you know, which I would say it probably may be one measure that bring two together. Maybe where they probably put it together as a bilateral, which we see here. Let me see, I'm gonna go here and see if that's where they going with the Y1, because Y1, we was just there a few minutes ago. No, the Y1, okay, here we go, Islam. Okay, let me see here. Okay, and scroll down a little bit and try to see what they got going on here.
So you be looking for a Y1 with the O or something like?
Well, now I'm just looking to see, is there a whole expression up here with those symbols that they have? Just see if we can find a direct connection, you know, to whatever it was they already had up there. I'm just trying to see why they mentioned that Y1 beside those two letters.
Right.
Because I didn't see them put number H and P there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So there's a connection here for some reason. Let me go back over here. I see why they did it now. The same symbol here is the Y1. That's the Y1, yeah, what they would call the scroll. But yeah, it's up here. So that's the Y1 connector right there. So okay, I just wanted to see that there again. It's the same thing here, Y1, same thing, Y1, same thing. So we got it. And yeah, that's still a grand drawing, family, to be able to navigate through here like that. Praise be to Allah. And a gratitude again, Grand National Secretary of the State, for getting that Q out my little head. Islam, but any other measure you want to bring forth, Grand Man?
No, sir. That's pretty much it. Cause that's what got me stuck. You know what I mean? Because so I just kind of like just backed up and was gonna wait till I can get some clarification when we come into class.
Islam.
So,
Gratitude, and so we see how we navigate. And again, if you would have navigated and you seen this and you were using these codes, then you come up with the definition of the codes. You see? And in most cases, like I say, if you're dealing with a particular scope that deal with what's there, we see two particular lines here that are more in relation. So we see that this is mostly dealing with law, carrying out law. We can go to the divine constitution on this right here. You know, HEP, you know, which is dealing with law and ordinance. So that's powerful in and of itself. So let me stop sharing my screen here. And Islamism. All right, gratitude, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay. All right. Is there any other more would like to come forward? I think I grand that Secretary of State ready.
Islam.
Islam, God is
Islam, praise the Lord. First of all, I'm going to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Jaraleen, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our class, our ears class, giving honor to our Georgia consulate for providing the forum and all those that open our meeting according to law, giving honor to Dr. Dendra Nia Kurtabay and also to Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, and giving honor to all of our students in class and to you, Dr. Shaheed, for this assignment. In order, you know me, I gotta write, but I also did a PowerPoint presentation. I wanna share my screen. This was really exciting for me. Everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Gratitude.
Islam.
Okay, first, of course, the first assignment, study the source Poe, the writing of a skillful scribe. I'm still going through that reading, but it had a wealth of information. Second one was dealing with the tool. I really got into that tool. Most of my time was spent playing around with the tool, and I did not, the tabs that I had from the last assignment, I left them up, you know, and then the ones from the email that you sent recently, Dr. Shaheed, I just added that to it. That was easier for me to navigate. And with study the history behind the papyri of Ebers and use that excerpt. So I actually, well, let me just continue on here. The first thing that I did before I got to that papyri was let me get to my notes. I came from that, one of the attachments, SLIGHP 1ILE, page 11. And that's where I found my first word, Sinat. And that took me to on page 11, and this is, I just did a snip and cut thing. This is what brought me to the Unicode of S29, that little hook symbol that we've looked at before. And these are other numbers. So now I went to the German database that we've been in, and it also showed the SNB and the SNB. And it showed that hook, which is symbolic of that letter S. You know, I saw that, that looks like the Ankh, etc. So I was just looking at the letters as far as comparison. Then that's when I went to the different dictionaries. When and what I did when I went to hieroglyphs.net, I actually did a control F, the letter Frank, and I put in SNB, and then it pulled up everything that had SNB in it. So this definition was overleap, health, and jar. Now, of course, it had like, this is also a letter S, and this is also a letter S, but I kind of gravitated to the one that looked like a upside down U or a cane or what have you. Then I went to the ancient dictionary. I also plugged in control F, SNB, and it took me to may he live, be prosperous and healthy. And I tell you, the realization, I said, wait a minute, this sounds like what Dr. Shaheed says at the end of every meeting. Ankh Wajet Sanab. Now, I'm like, of course, now I'm really getting charged up behind that. So this is still Ancient Egypt Dictionary, Sanab. The coast is clear. But I also saw in it MR, and I know MR stood out to me, slapped me in my face. Wait a minute, I know more is somewhere, you know, with this. So that's why most of my time was spent in this database. So I then went to, this is showing because when I put in SNB, it just hit, highlighted every SNB within that entire document. So that's where the jar came from. It's got the upside down S and the other symbols. And these are to be healthy, well, become well, recover. Health, farewell, banish or sleep, exchange greetings. Okay, and then you notice now all of these have that same S as far as the that hook is concerned. When I went to the download of dictionary, it had breast or chest. And that to me was also symbolic of the divine love, or, you know, staying healthy, the mindset, keeping it moving with the hieratic papyri from Cahoon, plugged in SNB. It came to, and here's the hook again, for the welfare of the king. Then it also had the SNB, the sacrifices, the true or offered, pure, which was like, that's what the prophet tells us all the time in Acts 7, you know, thanks and love. Back to that, even though we know that we're not talking about a physical heart, but that's also dealing with the heart chakra. That's how I was hooking this stuff up, okay? Then I went to Dixon Dictionary, plugged in SNB, exchange greetings. There's that banish and sleep again, jar again, farewell, to be healthy, well, become well, recover. And here's that MR again, even though they say the coast is clear. And I'm like, okay, Rome, I'm going with, so we went with SNB, but it has an additional S. So there are the two S's here on the left. To now, as opposed to the one S dealing with healthy, we're looking at to preserve and heal, which is why I can see they had the double glyphs of S, you know, and again, you saw the Unicodes. Again, that phrase, now I said Wajet, because we know that sound shifting and things of that nature, Sanab, may he live, be prosperous and healthy, you know, and that's why I had up here, okay, now I know this has got to be, and that's page 25 of the Dixon Dictionary. Sanab, the coast is clear, but I'm making a note to myself, MR, Maru, more, the whole nine, you know, so that I can go back and do the research, because we've seen that letter A and we know that that's an R. When we had the Poe, SNB, again, that phrase, may he live, be prosperous, be healthy, even though they started out with sandal strap, you know, as you stated more, what makes sense. And so this is what I was doing, just going through the various to see if I saw anything that, here's again, Poe, SNB, he said to me, health, commoner to your house so that you may see your children. Sanab down here was be healthy. So I was just running through more in Poe, where you see that same SNB, but it now adds a W to it. It is done from the beginning to its end, as it was found in writing a scribe, excellent with his fingers. So I'm now looking at, there's also possibility may deal with the scribe, as far as that SNB with a W on the end. But then again, SNB with the W, still in Poe, the writing of a skillful scribe. It had that live, be prosperous, and be healthy. So that's what I was doing, is running down through the various, and I'm basically coming up with that same demonstration I'm just going to run through here. Aquajet Synab. Even though this one now says fire drill for that particular glyph, it's still going back to live, be prosperous, be healthy. Same thing. And here are the Unicodes, you know, and I here we go, hold on. So it's just, and now all of this was in Poe, various pages that it was pulling up. Now, when I went to the papyri of Ebers, I started with, this is about the 6th line from the top where this highlighted portion is. I only got a few letters, okay? Because as I stated, most of my time was that database. I love that thing, you know? So now that first letter A in hieratic. That second letter, which, okay, and I was also writing it down on my paper as well, in case something happened with the internet, which it did this morning. I'm like, wait a minute, how am I kicked off my class? You know, missing a whole 15, 20 minutes, you know, I was not having that. So now when I looked at this and I went to, I found this letter. It had the Unicode as D2, but it also had a Unicode of D21. And it had the word as HR in that database. And if you see the same E-looking symbol, which in essence, they're saying the word for that is HR. So I went to the one that said I plugged in D21, and it's still giving me the same word, HR. So now when I went to, hold on. When I went to SLGHP 1, page 18, this gave me some more of the D2 and the D21 connection, still with that similar symbol, except this one now has a line under it. None thus far to record. But at least it was showing that this was late Egyptian period of time. Now this one here, I had found it, but when I went to look back for it, this without that little dot above it was the letter B. But I found this particular letter. Hold on a second. I found that particular letter as also a possibility of L and R because of this piece on top. But I had, you know, I wanted to go back and document where I found it, but I have to go back and do that. So the next one, per the papyri, the R, because we read from top to bottom, if it's over one another, the R for the top letter, and this one here looked like M3. Per page 19 of that post. So we know that that 3 is also an A. So I said, okay, we'll go with the MA letter. And when I plug MA in the database, the Unicode that came up was G17 and D36. Now I also said, okay, we got a R here and an M. I flipped it even though just to see. And now I'm looking at MR again. So when I looked at MR, that plugs me a Unicode of G17 and D21. Okay. And I'm really getting charged up now. I said, well, we know how Rome try to twist mess. Maybe you flipped it. You know, that's how I think. What perhaps would it get if I flipped these two letters? So now when I went to the G17 and D36, it came up with the MA. When I went, which looks like that 2 thing, you know, the actual script. Then when I went to yeah, this is both showing the MA. And that's why I said I reversed that RM and MR just to see. Now, when I started plugging in MR, it came up. Here's a highlighted MR with sky, earth, water. And then this is the last one. When I reversed it, the MR came up administrator. okay, and the RM with the T came up as men. So that's where I left off. But like I said, most of my stuff was playing around in that database and was just like party time, you know, because it just took me through so many avenues and just going through those various dictionaries to determine was it similar as far as the definitions through all of this, through all of that research. So that's my measure. Much gratitude. I really enjoyed this assignment, but I want to get more emphasis on being able to look into the papyri, get better focus on that aspect as a, you know, to really get down to the foundation and the nitty gritty, as opposed to, you know, going through the dictionaries that way, but get more founded on getting those letters from the script. So gratitude, more peace and love.
Islam and gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, when you get into that drawing, goddess and queen, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. See how everybody aid and assist and teamwork make the dream work, family. And so we see Sister Curta Bay, we see the question our brother Marvin Evans Bay, then the Grand National Secretary of the State coming on the manifest. Clarity, just plain old clarity. But what you demonstrated, especially with the Sanab, you know, and this is just an example of what we was talking about when we go into our Moorish Holy Quran. So now we would take that word Sanab and apply it to where health is mentioned in our Moorish Holy Quran. And that's how we pull the Moorish definition out of it. For example, we say health is to the body as honesty is to the soul. That's the same as saying Anqua Jet Sanab. Life, health, and prosperity be upon you. And you're right. Actually, there is a sound shift between the D, and sometimes they'll put DJ there, you know, for the, you know, Wajet portion, you know, but Anqua Jet Sanab, and as you've seen it going through all of the different phases as you did, that's called consensus of research. And this is how you know, okay, it said it in this particular measure, it said it in this measure. And remember, these are not definitions that are coming from Rome per se, but they are coming from the dermatologists, the native Egyptians who translated, and then Rome later took their measure and put their spin on what they got from them, basically. And so then that's how they say, well, we write based on this, but in all actuality, they know where they got it from. So they're not saying it right because they didn't know it. You know, E. Wallace Budge, gas and mass spirit, they didn't know it. You know, but that's a powerful demonstration when you see those definitions coming together in different dictionaries. And that's why I gave the resources that I gave, you know, so that our Moorish kin can see it. And all you have to really do is take the alphabet, like that one symbol you had that looked like a letter E. We know that's not a part of the alphabets, for example. So this must be an indicator. And that's why it represented the H and the R. And when you look deep into it and look at the forms of it, it actually deal with Heru. Me, by being able to identify that, I see Heru there. And if you go into the aspects of even dealing with the Sanab, and you was speaking of the health, you know, this is what the Ebers papyri deals with. You know, it's dealing with being able to cure and heal and, you know, the self and so forth and so on. It's a lot of stuff dealing with ailments that our people deal with, you know, modern time that they were dealing with then. So can't nobody lie to us and tell us the ancient Kemites wasn't into science, because they did this like, you know, thousands of years ago. So that's powerful, Grand National Secretary of State, and that's the way that we are to navigate with the tool. I knew that ones was gonna get that too, and I mean, you can go forever with that. And that's and once we get immersed in it, like I say, we become more familiar with the words. If Moore's picked up on it, when we seen the letter S again, you seen the surfacing of S29. You see, just by us speaking now, you know, we already know that N35 just dealing with this. Oh, that's the letter N, you know, and we get into the old aspect, then that goes into a particular direction. You know, I mean, we can just go on and on with this, but it's going to become more impressed upon our memory because each word consists of letters. And as you form the letters, they're going to always refer you back to the same Unicode and refer you back to the same expression of the alphabet. We just see them in various forms. So that's why I say this is a lifelong task, what we're demonstrating here. But you can believe ones can't pull no wool over our eyes no more. We know why they use the pictures, and that's why I call them just markers. You talking about cryptography. So they tried to hide our own stuff with us, from us, with our own signs and symbols, basically. Goodness gracious, they cold-blooded. They cold-blooded. And we do give honors to Grand National Secretary of the State for your reversal and the flipping measures and all that, because all of that, you know, adds up. And in fact, MA and MR in the definition, you will see that they are linked like you did through the Unicode. So if you dig deeper, you will see those things. Like I love the demonstration with more the coast is clear. You see what I'm saying? Meru, what it is, Meru Sanan. See, now we are actually being able to put phrases together, you know. So when we speak to each other, you know, one may say, is everything good and well? Meru Sanan. You see? Thank you, Grand National Secretary. Praise be to Allah. And we ain't speaking hieroglyphics, family. We speaking hieratic. They say you couldn't speak it, but we doing it right now. So, ooh-wee. If that don't set the Moor soul on fire with love and holy zeal, oh man. All right. Gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State. Okay. Is there any other more that have a measure of homework they would like to bring on the manifest? Islam? I see we got our brother Smith Bay. We got our brother Bati Bay and brother Potter Bay on the manifest. You know, and if you brothers don't have the assignment, you know, you more than welcome to give your drawing.
Islam. First I'd like to rise and give all manner of praise to Allah, honor to the Prophet, us the theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, Mufti, citizens alike, honors to all the Moors that spoke before me, all the ones that will speak after. Honors to you for this class. And I did some shorthand research. I didn't get a chance to get the document sent to me because that email is just out of there. That old email is out of there. So what I did was, if I share my screen, I'll show what I did do. Bingo. Right here. So I don't know how well you guys can see this right here. Where's it at? So I just was bouncing around here. Out of this document, and this is the letter that I did right here. And when I plugged this into, when I was searching, because I had to go to, what is it? Wasn't that? No, I had to go to Gardenia's. This Gardenian list. Get this off. And I was looking up, what was that? M30. M30. The reason why I put this one with this one, because when you go and type this into the actual, yeah, right here. Okay. When you type it into here, it will bring up the you know, the lineage of that letter. I thought, okay, so it's right here. I already have that. Perfect. Let me try to explain this up and bring this up. And this is what I kind of correlated this with this. I ain't gonna say it's a perfect match. And this was more so like it was stating a word and not a letter. I wasn't getting a letter with it, and that's why I got B and R. So veneer. And I don't have the dictionary. I didn't have the dictionary to go bounce back and forth to see what that word meant, or even to cross-reference if what I'm saying on this actual letter is correct. And so after that, I did do something that I recognized in there, which was the star on the next one. That's it. I did do the star, and that was in 14. And the other one I did was where is it? Let me see if I can find it down there. M21. No, wrong page. It is where is it at? This lovely one right here. And these ones you were going over before, so I kind of didn't want to do it to bring up my information because it looked like it just came from that. So, and I got this as 04. First I was plugging in, doing the same thing. I plugged in Q4 and didn't make sense until she said it was an O, because you had the document pulled up on your when you're going over that with the brother Marvin Edwards Bay. And so that's all I got done. I don't have the whole text that's been going out to everybody. So my ability to do the homework has been shorthand. So with that, I leave as a coming piece. Islam.
In Islamism, grand man, that's still gratitude on just that measure. Let me go through here because we know that is definitely what we would call a determinative or what we call indicator, so to speak. And so what we would do, like you did, in order to find that particular symbol, okay, we know that these are the alphabets up top here, for example. And we know that that's most definitely not an alphabet. And these things will actually begin to jump out at us as we become more familiar with the script. As you can see up here, like I told you, in this document, it's showing your old kingdom, middle kingdom, and the dynasties in which, certain measures were used. And some of it even goes into letters that went into the Demotic. So for that particular symbol that we're looking for, we're going to scroll through here and see, can we identify, this is a special symbol? Because you can rest and assure if it's there, it's on the manifest. And in fact, I do have the measure with the Eber Papyrus. So I can pull that up in a second too, if we don't find it here. We're going to look through here a little bit and see what we can find, just to vet what it is you pulled up, because you properly identified it as a determinant. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see here. We can also see, let's see here, scroll on. Scroll on.
It looked like that MWT for a moment.
What are you referring to, Brother Edwards Bay?
At G14 193 in the middle.
Nah, it looked close to it, but this is more connected. I see what you pointing out, though. You pointing out this drawing right here.
Yes, sir.
That's something to consider. It's something to consider.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let us scroll a little bit more, because I've seen that symbol myself. It's a lot of them in here you go through in most cases. We just scrolling through. Okay, so we didn't. Okay, hold up. Let me see right there. Because you can believe they in here. If they wrote in the papyri, in most cases, a lot of them, there go right there. That's M and R. And I knew I remembered that from somewhere because I had looked it up before. That's M&R, my brother. And it ain't
Right.
strange though that it looked like B and R, because remember the letter B is interchangeable with the letter N. Remember that? So what we do is we go to G17 and D21. G17 and D21. And it may bring us right to that word as well, our connection to it. It may. It's just a good guess on my end from that aspect because of the connections. So let me go back here again. That is G17 and X1. Okay, so let me go back up here into our tool, our best friend. Let's see, G17. I wonder what would happen with it if I did this right here. Would it pull everything together? Maybe I have to do it like this. Let's see. No, I won't let you pull them up together. You got to pull up one individual. So let's just go with the G17. Okay, sometime you have to reset this demonstration, clear it out. Now go, because we know G17 is most definitely in here because we done researched it a couple of times. Notice what I had to do more is when it ain't pulling up, sometimes you got to clear it out and reset the system and it bring you to G17. You see, you know, this particular expression here, they always like to say it's the M, you know, but we see the letters over here and we got the M right here in the hieratic. So here's the other measure here. And the other letter that we have is basically the Unicode. That's the other letter when it's talking about here. When it says G17 is pointing out the letter M, and this D21 is going to take us to the letter R. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if they have a word here because sometimes there it go right there. As soon as I said it. The same measure here. Now we can see a connection with our brother Bati Baker. This looks more like, you know, the B and the N expression as well. But do they make a connection between that in here? If they do, they will have it right here in the drawing. That's MY, MT, MT, IRM, IMI, 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 and it actually stopped there. So it didn't make a connection quite there. Everything is pretty much consistently M&R, everything consistently G17, D21. Okay, so the G17 is the root dealing with the alphabet M. Let me go over here then and just hit the D21 and it should take us, see it took us to the letter R. So we have that here. We see the letter R here. Like I said, the more we go through dealing with these Unicodes, it's gonna make us more familiar with these letters. And that's why it's good to play with these things. See, there it go right there where our Grand National Secretary of the State pulled up, and you know, we pointed this out as being linked to Heru. You see? Okay, so what I want to do now, just dealing with our brother Bati Bay, I would like to go. We've seen our Grand National Secretary of the State already gave us the definition of M&R going back to administration men. And that also debunked those who keep saying M&R was never referred to as a person or people. You see, as I done proved countless times over and over again, but now we can see it right here. You know, that just goes to one that is selectively researching to try to hide the truth. They're trying to demonstrate cryptography, basically, just like the European. So let me go back to the G17 and just pull it up as I had it since. Okay. Trying to back into it. Let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna go back here. Now that we have G17, we already know that this is connected to the M&R. And remember, this letter M is very important because M is still M even in the English. It's just turned a different way. If you were to turn this to the left, you know, in a horizontal position, this same letter here will be the letter M. So we can see that M has retained its essence from the Hieratic ancient Kemet all the way up into the English. You see? That's just something noteworthy of being pointed out as well. So let me go over here again and pull up in our dictionary. I'm gonna close this down real quick. We already see here, again, the D21, G17, letter M, D21, the letter R. We see this is the same symbol that our brother Bati Bey pointed out. Now, I'm gonna go here and we're gonna try to find that definition again in G17.
Isn't that beloved?
That could well be. That's exactly what it is. You know, now that I just thinking about it, but it's different types of M and R as well. Some of them deal with administration, some deal with beloved, but they are connected to each other though. Let me see this here. I want to go down here, and that's what I'm trying to go here because this gives us the extensive aspect. When you look at the Unicode, it'll let you know what's connected to what. That's why I want to go here. But most definitely, it is definitely beloved is one of the definitions. You know, and also depending on what it is, it can also be, you know, a lake. Went past it a little bit there. Scroll down here. All right. Letter R, where you at? Got the young right there. I'm gonna look too far. Okay, here we go. We in that area now. I want to go to the very top though, so we can vet this from the top. You can see many different M and R's up here. See, this is what I was saying when I say they somewhat connected to each other. We definitely see the symbol of the I. We see the symbol of the R here, you know, which is really in hieratic. We already know how that looks, but these are your markers. Look on the end here. Look on the end here. You'll see that those letters on the end really don't mean anything. And this is the definition that a lot of people tried to use to go into selective research and say more means ill, sick, but they don't want to talk about when more means something good. You see what I'm saying? We're going to get into that in a second. So these are different words. We can even see that these are different expressions here with different Unicodes. So there's a little more to it than they are saying. On the end of this would just simply be, you know, look like a letter. It could be a letter A, but it actually represents a determinative to a certain degree because it's showing you the direction that they read from in the so-called pictorial glyph. Then you have this little measure here, that's a determinative too. But all these things here dealing with something painful, and it still has the G17 connection, D21 connection, M and R here, which is dealing with specifically the owl and what they like to call the opening mouth symbol. So, but what changes the difference is the U23 and the C7 are these things that's on the outside of them. So let us go to the actual root where you see those symbols alone, isolated. That's what we're trying to find here. No, we should be able to pull
Brother
them up.
Shaheed,
Islam, goddess and queen.
when you was at that MR, I saw something say pyramid. That connects back to us, you know, because you know we the one built those pyramids and stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, and that's what I was telling people before. If you go into the book when I was building on the M and R, I was showing the root how it represents pyramid. It also represents the name for Tamaray as well.
Right. For those who
the name of Kemet.
Yeah, for those ones who talk about more means sick and ill and all the negative stuff, where you got pyramid right there, that connects it back to us. So we know we the one did them.
That's correct. You know, and many of them, that's what they do. It's called selective research. That's what it's called, selective research. And see, you have here also, pyramid representing temple of perfected man.
That's right. Ooh,
See, that's when you get into the metaphysics of the symbol. You see? And so you can look at all these other M and R's, and you don't see a real connection between the symbols, and this is changing the definition here. But let us go and see if we can find an isolation of those other symbols, because we see M and R here as well. Actually, this symbol over here alone that looked like an A sideways, this is M and R by itself, really, to be honest with you. And then this R here is there, but this is a symbol for M and R as a bilateral as well. So let me go on and see if we can find. Okay, we see more of those definitions with the M and R, with the owl and the so-called open mouth symbol. That's connecting to the G17, D21. Let's continue to go. Scroll down because we're looking for a specific word. And we can see it in the symbols once we find it. This particular dictionary here don't look like it's giving us in this particular spot, outside of showing us, what it is, because don't look like they had a name. Hold up. And see, this is the beloved here. And so that's on a different symbol here. And that's another thing too, family. What we also seeing is that some of these Europeans are giving definitions to words that really wasn't together, so to speak, in a certain type of way. So yeah, I'm trying to find, I can see the connection to the D21 and the G17. We know what those are representing. But in this particular dictionary, we'll probably have to end up going to another one, because that is a common symbol where you will see these two isolated by themselves. And I have seen that as beloved, In fact, let us do this real quick, just to try to be brief. And I'm gonna do it like this, because this is one of the most popular aspects of it. And see, they showing here, this is one here they have as Mary. So this is going up under the other definition, Mary, the high priest of Amun, and so forth and so on. So it's all based on, the way that ones is doing the research, and studying it, where you will find those definitions, of these special words. So that Unicode is most definitely key, Moorish kin. It's most definitely key. So Islam, we give honors to your brother Bati Bey for that particular drawing. And we just wanted to point that out and pull it up exactly as it is. And we find that it's dealing with M and R, but there's more research to be done, because we do know, again, these things connect to the letter B as well. I want to go here too, though, to see their definitions of certain words here, because we got a couple of different dictionaries we can go into. Let me see here. S. Okay, that's the letter S. They're all over the place with this one here. And I think they just put these out here as the determinatives. Yeah, as they are. They still have some credence to them. But we most definitely be able to find something in here, in the bilaterals and the trilaterals. Let's go forward. Okay, that's the letter A. We see there as a determinative. Utterance, TP, EW utterance. We also give honors to you too, brother, for the star, because the star represents the duat, and the star also represents teaching. It means instruction or instructor. So when we see the star, That's a prime example of it. You know, that's dealing with the do-it right there. You know, dealing with seasons and times. It also deal with our flag. Our flag in ancient Kemet was first manifested to them in the do-it, the Meskheti, the area of the great bull. I like this too, because where they given the definition of that symbol that was pointed out earlier, I want to say by a Grand National Secretary of the State. I like how they're saying upward part and master and all of that right there. That's going into that herein state. Supreme artisan, head, master, chief of the living. You know, that's powerful. Sound like a mastermind to me. Okay, let me go on here. There's a lot of that there. Come on. All right. Where you at? Letters M and R. And this right here got a lot. It's so much, and I'm glad that we got this much more. You know, because we could have been, it could have been very scarce to where we couldn't really find these things. We just got to do the research and skim through them, and everything will manifest itself. Okay, so we in the letter M there, but again, they ain't got it in order like it should be, because this is dealing with the Unicode. Okay, we see the letter R there. Well, where's the letter M and R? We see R and M. Okay, so let us keep going. Okay. M and R, where you at? We're still dealing with the letter R. Look like they somewhat going in, you know, like they're trying to put an order to it with the alphabet.
Like they going in reverse, maybe?
Yeah, that's what it looked like they doing. Let me see here. I see the M and R there with R and M. Okay, that's R still. They definitely got the R in order. Come on. RMP. Ooh, there's a lot of R up in here. Goodness gracious. That's good resources though, with the Unicode to go with it. Praise be to Allah. Okay. A little further. Mercenary, remit. They got a lot of different definitions for the name remit. This is gonna be key too, to be able to go through a lot of this stuff right here to point it out. Let me see here. Bear with me, Moors. Goodness gracious. Man, they got the letter R in here for days. Okay, that's the letter K right there. I'm trying to scroll without scrolling over. Okay, scroll. Okay, that's the letter M and H there. They throwing an M there in between it. Then I went back to R again. I think they more categorizing it. They categorizing these things based on what it is, like mammals, men, animals. Let's see. Still going. Okay, this is letter M there. That's the letter A-N either. Okay. That's A-N. Let's see here. There. That's D. I know our Moorish can get it. I don't want to really hold us up. But what we're trying to basically point out is when you go back to these symbols up here, we already know the two letters. You know what I mean? if we look for the M&R, and once we find them, this dictionary, I know it has it in there, just too much to scroll through right now. A whole lot to scroll through. And so we got the tools. We know how to use them, Morris Ken. And we just want to give honors to the Moors that brought their measures on the manifest. Moors did a tremendous job. You know, it's definitely a step forward in what we demonstrate. And all we got to do is keep practicing. So what we are learning here is a skill set of being able to navigate through these things. And when we do it properly, and we can correct these things, let our people know what's going on, because some of them still gonna believe that you can read pictures. And again, we have proven that it's not the pictures you read, it's the hieratic papyri. You know, and so it's a lot more we're gonna do. We're gonna send out for the Moors archives. You know, after this class, we're gonna send out the documents, other documents in papyri, where ones can use them to study and be abreast and practice on transliteration and so forth and so on. And after this particular time here, we getting ready to go into the metanetta. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna show how there's a lot of conflict and confusion between what metanetta is. We're gonna touch on the Proto-Sinaitic, Proto-Canaanite, you know, and let you know that was actually written as an alphabet as opposed to the metanetta. Metanetta is metaphysic. We're gonna touch on some of the people that dealt with translation and attempting to translate prior to the European, you know, and that's gonna be powerful in and of itself. We're gonna show our Moorish kin what's being done and what the decipherment really represents, you know, and how we can grow from that. So one thing is for one purpose, you know, and another thing is for another purpose. We already know the purpose of Demotic. We know the purpose of Hieratic, you know, and so there was a specific purpose for the signs and the symbols, as we say, are for conscious mind and men to understand it. And Yehoshua most definitely did not go in there trying to read signs and symbols as alphabets and all of that type of stuff. Again, we only use them as markers. We're not using them as alphabets. They are only markers to identify the actual word. You see, so our Moorish kin have clarity there as well. So at this time, is there any other Moor that would like to bring a measure forth, you know, before we go back to Act 1 and close this demonstration out? Islam?
Islam. I was just gonna ask, is there a way that I could put my name on the email so I could get these documents to the new email address I got?
Yeah, all you got to do is request our Grand National Secretary of State can put you right on the master email list.
Islam.
Yeah, like you did before, and then, you know, mashallah, everything will come right to you. Islam?
Right on.
Yes, sir. Gratitude.
Peace and love.
Islam. All right. Any other more? Okay. Going once, going twice. All is well. We are thrice blessed. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Okay. Well, at this time, let us call forth then our Grand National Secretary of the State. Is our brother Simpson Bay still here? I don't see him here. Okay, well, come on forth, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Islam, having already risen, giving praise and honor where due, I just wanted to give much gratitude to not only our instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedo Amenti Al-Mohedded Shepsuel, also Act 1 and 2, our class, our students. And as you stated, Dr. Shahid, this is a powerful class. Much gratitude for all of the downloaded papyri documents, the database and things of that nature to give us a a grander understanding and be able to make this applicable to the self. The takeaway from the class today is just like when we deal with the study of the self, as far as when it comes down to our language, our history, culture, etc. It is a lifelong demonstration, you know, a constant unfoldment and growth. And you were also speaking about demonic and hieratic, the purpose, you know, and the purpose for why we're doing all of this is so that we can be in a better position to be able to teach and instruct not only ourselves, but our brothers and sisters that are still under the impression, because that's all that has been out here, is what Rome has stated, and has the world under the illusion of that everything is stemming from hieroglyphs or what Rome says, and what Rome has pillaged and done. So it's just been a grand measure, a grand class, just gratitude to all of my Moorish kin for, you know, staying focused and being at the ready. So gratitude more for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
Islamism, Grand National Secretary of the State. Powerful measure, powerful measure. Want to give honors to you again and all the Moors for all that has been done, because we can see light. You know, we can see light. And so this is going to be a grand drawing for those who really want to know about the Hieratic, because like we said, there's no one out there doing it, you know, and really going into depth like this. I've seen a few Europeans out there trying to guess at some things, you know, but they were only guessing at them, you know, so to speak. But actually our people bringing it back to us, you know, we as Moors are doing that, and our people will benefit greatly from this by the time, you know, the smoke clears, so to speak. And so gratitude to the Moors and everybody that's here. And at this time, did the brother leave the controls in the possession of anyone?
Islam.
Curtis Bay?
Islam, yes, sir. I got it. You ready for me to close out?
Oh yeah, Islamism, gratitude, Islam.
Islam, family, Islam. Well, January the 15th, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen, a group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of prophet Noble Jew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Go in peace, Moors. Great class. I tell you, I'm enjoying my little self.
Oh, yeah.
Hello,
boy.
Morris.
Praise the Lord. Love you, Morris.
Love you, family.
Great class. Gratitude.
Yes, Dr. Shaheen.
Demonstration.
Great class.
Islam,
Yes,
more.
indeed.
Morris.
Islam is
Islam, family.
Grand measures, more. We
and
love
love.
you.
Gratitude, Dr.
Islam.
Shaheed.
Love you,
Yes.
Morris.
Morris Skin.
Islam.
Is
Uncle Ajasanel.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Islam.
Islam.
All right.
Islam grand demonstration, Morris.
Yes.
Morris, the
Praise
coast
Allah.
is clear, Morris. And Rusanel. Thank you, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Gratitude to my Morris Kin. Praise Allah.
All right, Morris. See you tonight in Sunday school.
Yeah, see y'all in Sunday school. I'm gonna
Um,
be in the meeting for all.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, family.